Finally, a way that we can record videos without them looking like garbage. I originally filmed the entire sequence for this video in our basement studio, just showing the differences with the DJI Osmo Mobile, but I realized the whole point of this device is to be able to use it while you're moving around. So what better way than to take it on a quick walk and talk a little bit about this device. Now, we've been using it for about 2 months now here at PRN. Essentially everything that you've seen on test drive over the last 2 months has been shot with this device. It's worked out very, very well for us. And as you can see here, I'm walking along on a relatively unpaved trail here. It's used for snowmobiling, and the camera itself is pretty level. I mean, it's certainly a lot better than it would be if I were hand holding the device without some sort of stabilization. So it does make a good difference having something like this. Now, the other benefit too is the ability to use the app, and we haven't used it a whole lot. The DJI app has a lot of potential, but we just found it didn't quite work the way that we wanted to every single time we went out to use it. The benefit is you can track an object. So for example, behind me here, we've got some maple syrup trees. So if I wanted to track one of those buckets with the app, you just select it and you can move the device around and it would keep it wherever you put it on the screen. If you want it in the center, you want it on the side, it would do a good job tracking it. But the problem is I found the app itself, it'll save the files into the app. So if you're like me, you're filming a whole bunch of B-roll, which is what we do for test drive, we'll have 50, 60, 70 files for one specific car that we filmed, and then I have to export all that from the app. So it's basically taking up the storage twice on my phone. The other thing too is it doesn't do 60 frames per second, which is a huge deal killer. This is being shot right now in 60 FPS because we're using just the built-in camera app on the iPhone. So there are some downsides to using that app, but there are some pluses too. So if you don't really care about 60 FPS and you don't really worry too much about having to export every single thing you do, then it's not a big deal. Now, we also did use other phones with this, not just the iPhone 8. So we did test it with the Samsung Galaxy Note8, LG V30, Sony Xperia XZ1. So all of these phones, all of them work. The thing you need to note about the, iPhone 8 Plus is where they put the microphone jack, or the lack thereof. Since you have to use the lightning port on the bottom of your device, you can't actually use a microphone. So for example, I'm filming using our portable microphone unit, so it's not actually connected to the device, which isn't a problem. I have no issues syncing everything up in post. But if you're using it for a live stream, for example, like we did do a couple times, you can't actually put a microphone. And the problem with the Apple phone, at the very least, is I'm talking to you right now, it's using the microphone more or less on the front of the device in order to pick up my sound. But if I switched to the back camera, the microphone's on the back of it now. So you really get bad audio if you're using the built-in device microphone when you're doing a live stream. And you can see we did some filming at the Zoo Granby back in the end of December. We filmed both same kind of footage on two different devices. Obviously we can't use the same device, but we filmed one handheld and moving around with the DJI, and you can really see the difference here, how good the stabilization is on a device like this. Because I know a lot of phones these days have built-in optical stabilization, but it really just isn't as good as using something like this. This is a dedicated device to be able to stabilize your images and really makes a huge difference. But overall, it does make for very smooth video. If you move around, really gently like this, it'll really track what's going on. If you go quicker, not so much. The idea is it'll help to stabilize it, but if you go nice and slow, it'll move along with you. You can hold the trigger on the back, so if you do move around, it'll keep it stable, keep it level in the position that it was, and then you can use the thumbsticks on the front, one of them, and be able to move it manually. So we've really used it a lot. We've really enjoyed the use of it. I think that there's a lot of value in a device like this, even though we know that the next one has already been announced and is basically doing pre-orders now. There's still good value in using this old version because, like I said, we've used it pretty much for every single thing that we filmed here at PRN over the last 2 months. It's made a huge difference. The fact that I don't have to bring around the Canon 6D is fantastic because it is a lot of gear for really not the greatest video quality. And I have to say, I really like the video quality out of the iPhone 8. It works very well, and everything for the most part looks just as good. Maybe the color isn't as deep as you could get on something else, but if you're like me and you're filming videos on a very tight budget and you're the only person doing it, this is a great device to be able to use. And you know, I think that for the price that you can get it at, about $250 with the battery, it's a great deal if you're going to be using your phone. The other thing too, it really does not work in cold weather. If it's below 0 degrees, the battery starts to freeze up and you're kind of out of luck. Thanks for watching this episode of PRN Tech on the DJI Osmo Mobile. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about the device, please leave a comment below and we'll do our best to answer it for you. Please give us a thumbs up too if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more content like this. Until next time, take care.